Probably the two most talked about technical subjects on ham radio today are mic EQ and modulation. After all, these two aspects determine the sound of your station. First, let's set the modulation level. And to do this, we should consider your environment. For the most part, your Radio Shack is not usually studio sound quality. In some instances, your Radio Shack might be just a corner in your living room. So you might have to contend with dogs, cats, children, wives, goats, chickens. It just depends on your level of sophistication. The point is, there will always be unwanted sounds that you have to deal with. That's why I suggest tight miking. I'm talking about 1 to 2 inches away from the mic. So you'll need a foam windscreen like this one here to put on the mic to eliminate any unwanted mouth noises. And also, to help you stay on mic, I suggest using a swing arm, like this one here, that'll keep that mic at the right place for you. Now on to setting the mic level. First, modern HF radios usually have multimeters, and this multimeter has a function selector, and usually on that selection, ALC is one of the options. ALC stands for Automatic Level Control. Your book will tell you how to set the ALC level as you adjust your mic level. But basically, in the sideband mode, just adjust your mic level up until the meter moves within the prescribed range that the book suggests. In the absence of a book, adjust the mic level up until the meter moves within the excursion mapping of the ALC reading for the meter. In other words, the meter has a prescribed area for the meter to move within, and you want to adjust your mic level to where the top of that excursion stays within the markings for the ALC meter. And there are a number of other ways to set your modulation level. If you have a trusty watt meter, you can, and you know what the rated output of your radio is, turn your mic up until the radio produces the rated output at 100%. If it's 90 watts, turn the mic up till the radio produces a 90-watt signal, and so forth. The other way is to be able to, again, use the watt meter and look at it from the standpoint of background noise. In other words, you bring your mic gain up, and at some point the meter will start moving up off the bottom of the reading as you increase your level. It's reading the background level. So what you want to do is bring it up to where you see the meter start to come up, and then turn your mic gain back down, and that way you have to the point just a little bit, so you don't have any deflection, or hardly any deflection on the meter movement, and that will help out. The last way would be to utilize your Elmer and have him be listening to you, and you start at about maybe the 10 o'clock position, and bring your mic gain up as you're talking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at the 7 o'clock position and going to the 8 o'clock position. Now I'm at the 8 o'clock position and I'm going to the 9 o'clock position. And now I'm at the 9 o'clock, and you keep going like that, and he's listening to you, and he will be able to tell when you hit distortion. Now distortion is obviously too much gain. So you will take the number right before distortion and go back to it and speak a little bit and transmit, and see what your Elmer thinks about that. You should be pretty close to 100% at that point. And then after we get the modulation set in a average way, the next step would be to do the EQ. And what I normally do on EQ is I'll take if you're a 3-band EQ, there are all kinds of equalization settings and capabilities. So a simple EQ would be a 3-band, top, middle, and bottom. I would go to the top, and I would increase the top. I would boost the top frequency by half of the possibilities. In other words, if you have a center detent on the top frequency control, and you have 0 to 10 or 0 minus 10, I would go to a plus 5 on the top EQ. I would leave the mid-range alone, and then I would go to the bottom end, and I would roll off half of the possibilities again. If it's 0 to minus 10, I would go to a minus 5. And then I would talk and see what my ohmer thought about that EQ. That should be pretty close. You might have to, since you're tight miking, you might need to roll off a little bit more on the bass end. The end result is kind of you, but with a little edge on you. I mean to say, it sounds like you, but it may be just a tad brighter than you really are, and that might help your intelligibility on the air. The end result, though, should be not a bassy U, not a tinny U, but a U with an edge. And that'll take care of our modulation and EQ setting for today. Thank you. KC9VKV clear.